Mindless destruction. It's been a while. This episode of Tech Chop is brought to you by GoToMeeting with HD Faces. Welcome to episode 36 of Tech Chop. I, of course, am Paul Bauer, aka twitter.com/ElDePablo. This week will be a relatively short episode because last week's was so long. With your internet attention spans, you're probably still watching last week's 13-minute episode in installments, and I don't want to take that away from you. This week, I'll be reviewing my latest crappy wireless router. You may remember back in episode 4 where I reviewed my D-Link DIR615 router, and I had so many problems with it that I decided to switch back to my older Linksys WRT54G. Well, earlier this year, I switched internet providers and decided to get a new 802.11n router. Still wanting to be frugal, I purchased an ASUS RT-N12 router from my local Fry's. The RT-N12 boasts 300 megabits per second super speed, a CD-free installation, and manual-free management, like anyone really needs a CD to install a router anyway. Broadcom Accelerange that delivers 450% signal coverage, whatever that means, 4 networks in one, an EZ switch for noobs, and 30,000 sessions for stable peer-to-peer downloads. I will give this little sucker credit. It is inexpensive and the web interface is very intuitive. Setup is pretty easy. For noobs, it even has their built-in Dr. Surf to help detect issues with your internet connection. Also, the look of the router is aesthetically pleasing, and I'm sure this smooth white finish will go well with any Apple product Apple fanboys have lying around. The only problem is this isn't made by Apple, so they will never buy it. So those were the good things. The problems I had with this particular router were frequent disconnects. It seemed that my coverage in my house was okay and I got decent signal, but out of the blue I'd get these weird disconnects. It was really apparent on my Boxee when I was streaming a show and then all of a sudden the show would stop and start buffering again, or just close out for no reason. What was finally the last straw though was when it just stopped broadcasting its signal altogether. The router was only 8 months old, but the transmitter on it just shut off completely. In both cases of the packets dropping and the signal going out altogether, I tried flashing to the latest firmware, and that didn't help. Through all this, it's nice to point out that any wired connections were fairly stable. No issues there, it would seem, but most of the clients on my home network are wireless, so I don't have to run cabling all over the place. Because of that, I really need something more stable. I've since replaced it with a Buffalo WHR HP G300N running with Buffalo's custom DDWRT firmware. So far it's been running pretty good, but only time will tell if it makes it into one of my videos. So what am I going to do with this ASUS RT-N12? Does this answer your question? Before we get to our mindless destruction, let's take a break to thank our sponsor. I believe to be successful in business, you need to be able to meet with your team on a regular basis, whenever you need to, wherever you are or they are. You need to do this to discuss plans for the future, share ideas, and to bring those ideas to life. The problem is that with clients and colleagues working from anywhere but the office, meeting face-to-face is not often possible. That is, unless you use GoToMeeting with HD Faces, the powerfully simple way to meet and collaborate with your team online. GoToMeeting with HD Faces gives your team the ability to share the same screen, making it easier to be on the same page. And when you meet face-to-face, you're more likely to see eye to eye. Plus, it's a piece of cake to launch or join a meeting from anywhere. We use GoToMeeting at my day job all the time to demo our products over the web to potential customers. It saves us time and money to not have to fly all over the country to show people what we have to offer. That is how my company likes to do business both effectively and efficiently. Tech Chop viewers can try GoToMeeting free for 30 days. Don't wait for this special offer. Visit GoToMeeting.com, click on the Try It Free button, and use the promo code PODCAST. Be sure to use the promo code PODCAST so they know that Tech Chop sent you so you can help out the show. GoToMeeting. Meeting is believing. man, smashing stuff is always fun. You really should try it sometime. In fact, if you have an old piece of equipment that caused you heartbreak in the past, film yourself smashing the bejesus out of it with a ball bat or a hammer, then post it as a response to this video on YouTube. It will be therapeutic for the rest of us. Plus, if we get enough, I can put them all together in a future episode of Tech Chop. That's all I have for this episode. Like always, if you have any questions or comments, sound off below or hit us up on Facebook or on Twitter. Be sure to like, fave, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time right here on Tech Chop. Tech Chop is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. TechPodcasts.com. If it's tech, it's here.